My name is Evan Sean Glenn. I'm the CEO of the TPAC, and that is an honor. Simply because I have a heart for the city of Oakland. Now, let me explain to you who we are and why we're here. Well, in short, our goal is to basically help Oakland preserve the good qualities in Oakland and also focus on the issues that plague this city. In a nutshell, we're here to represent businesses, education, and health and safety initiatives. This is our first event, but this isn't the first action that our PAC has taken in the city of Oakland. Last winter, if I'm not mistaken, the East Oakland Youth Development Center opened their doors to us to allow us to run a program spearheaded by our good friend Mike White called Dress for Success. At that program, we got donations from Men's Warehouse, the Golden State Warriors, Oaklandish, and other local businesses that we all know and love. Now, it was a terrific event. We had 50 young professionals go out to East Oakland and talk to 50 students to make sure that all their concerns and their questions were answered in respects to college applications, job interviews, and also business etiquette overall. And I thought that was awesome. And actually, there's a few of us that still talk to those kids today through Facebook and other social media to make sure that they're all on the right track. That's a snapshot of what we do and what we're going to continue to do with the help of you all today. Before I get to the show, I want to talk about the other members of the TPAC and let you know who they are. We got Mark Guillory, Jason Matthews, and Toriano Norris. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce Toriano up. He's going to present the first award.
Good evening. All right, I have the pleasure of introducing our first business person of the year, Mr. Michael LeBlanc. Is a pioneer and visionary and native of New Orleans, and is the founder of Pecan, as you all know, one of the hottest and greatest restaurants in the Bay Area. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael LeBlanc.
First of all, let me say thank you guys very much. It is always an honor to get recognized, but it's even more so an honor when you get recognized by your own. What I would like to say is I'd like to recognize these four young gentlemen. In terms of what they're doing for Oakland, I think what they're doing for Oakland is absolutely amazing. Just a quick story on me. Born and raised in New Orleans, went to school in North Carolina, worked in New York, traveled all around the U.S., but think about this, Sydney, Australia, Kuala Lumpur, Taiwan, Korea, Japan. I wanted to live in Oakland. I came out here to Oakland, and Thomas and Manny and I, we started Brothers Brewing Company. We had some success with that, but one of the things I'd like to say about Oakland is that I've always felt like I've got a big hug from the city of Oakland. And the success that we're having at Pecan is especially because of everybody out here and all the networking that you do and all the events that you have at Pecan, so I want to thank you for that. I would be remiss, we mentioned Jeffrey, but I would be remiss. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did a movie like On the Shoulders of Giants. I don't think anybody in the hospitality industry would be doing what they're doing if you didn't have pioneers like Jeffrey. Absolutely. So guys, we can make Oakland one of the great cities. These guys are starting us on it. I do believe by them pulling everybody together and recognizing really icons in the community. I don't know how I got up here, but I know how they did. I just want to say thank you very much and say thank you to you guys. And appreciate it.
My name is Mark Guillory. I'm one of the members of TPAC. Went through a lot of discussion about how we're going to name our organization. As you can imagine, Oakland dudes like coming up with names. You know, this award is actually the Public Service Award, and we designated 4 areas that were indicative of the kind of areas we want to concentrate in and collaborate, coalesce with other organizations and other individuals in order to do, like Michael LeBlanc said, to make this city a better and safer place. Because that is our goal. We want to do that through promoting business development in Oakland, making it more business friendly. We want to do that by making our streets and our people more healthy and making our streets safer. promoting those initiatives, and also improving our Oakland Unified School District, hence our education. The person that I'm about to read her bio pretty much reflects all of that. She founded the Pink Access Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to raising awareness and much-needed funds to support cancer education for disadvantaged communities. She hosted the 3rd annual Pink Access and Lavender 2 event, raising nearly $100,000 to support breast and general cancer awareness. In 2010, Oakland City Council's Vice Mayor and President declared November 14th Pink Access and Lavender 2 Day. She's co-chair of the National Finance Committee for Obama Victory Fund and a member of the Finance Committee for the Attorney General Kamala Harris and the DNC Presidential Partner. She's the executive producer and host of Oakland's Community Affairs, highlighting community leaders, making a positive impact in the lives of our youth and telling the success stories of Oakland natives. She's also spearheading U.S. trade missions to Fiji to help improve international business relations between the U.S. and Fiji. Now, she's not here to accept the award tonight because there's this guy that's running for re-election named Barack Obama who needed her down in L.A. But to accept her award is her mother, Ms. Scott.
Good evening. I'm Shonda's mom, and due to a business commitment, she had to travel out of town. So I'm her mother, and I'm also the chair of the Access Foundation. And I'm here to accept this distinguished award. First, I'd like to acknowledge her father, Mark Scott. It is with honor and esteem that I accept this award for the work of the founder of Pink Access Foundation, Shonda Scott. And I am pleased that the next generation of leaders are still holding the mantle of justice, social justice for our community. Thank you, Mark, and all of you for spearheading Town PAC. I'm very proud of all of this. My daughter Shonda created Pink Access in memory of her loving cousin who lost her battle to breast cancer when they were both 29 years old. Pink Access, as Mark said, is a nonprofit that uses creative and innovative ways to raise funds to support organizations providing awareness, education, and services to cancer survivors and disadvantaged communities. We instilled in both of our children the importance of giving back to our community as a pinnacle to success, and this is exactly what Pink Access represents. The Pink Access Foundation's tagline is, "Be a blessing to someone else." Not only do I challenge everyone in this room to do that in our community, I am also here to bless the Town PAC with a donation from Pink Access in the amount of $500 from Shonda Scott.
My name is Jason Matthews with the Political Action Committee, and the next thing we're going to have is our keynote speaker. The first thing, we was looking for a keynote speaker just a month ago, and we was making phone calls. I was trying to think about who would be a keynote speaker, who would be a keynote speaker. And Mr. Banks said, "Brother, call these people." And one of the people I called was Teresa Cox, asking for donations for our event. And I called her, she said, "I would love to be there about what you guys are doing." But more importantly, she called me back a few minutes later, and she said, "Do you mind if I just talk for a few minutes about the importance of Oakland and business development within the city of Oakland?" And at that time, I thought it was an honor and a blessing from God that Honorable Teresa Cox volunteered to be a speaker for us. Now, if you don't know her resume, she has a very vast resume. She has worked with different administrations, with trade, and with specializing in international trade. She was on the board for a Loney College school system. And more importantly, she's the first black nuclear science major in all of the United States of America. So I'd like to present as our keynote speaker, Ms. Honorable Teresa Cox.
Thank you, Jason, for that warm introduction, and also congratulating the four gentlemen that make up the Town PAC. This is important for us to work together to make our community a better place for all. You know, it's an honor to be here in Oakland. I've been tied with the community for a number of years since I moved out here in the Bay Area. And part of it is that I've been involved with the Oakland chapter of the Lynx, Jack and Jill, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, and all of these organizations that are helping to build our community to be a better place. And a lot of you that I see out here, I've partnered with over the last number of years on working on a lot of different issues, which is important to unite Oakland together. You know, Oakland is a great city. We're the 8th largest city in the state of California, but we're one of the most ethnically diverse in the United States. We're talking 125 4 different languages spoke right here in Oakland. We're home to over 40,000 businesses. But also, most importantly, is that each one of these businesses are helping to create new jobs here in our community. And also, I want to mention that Oakland is a well-established international community for international trade. And part of that is that we're home to one of the largest ports right here in our area, the Port of Oakland. And, you know, with 99% of all of our iPads and all of our iPhones and all of our products that we eat, it's all coming through the Port of Oakland. This is where it's happening in Silicon Valley, here in Oakland, tied right here in the Bay Area. So we're a mega capital of commerce. And part of that, when you break it down, even when you look at what the Port of Oakland does, we're talking 69% is coming trade from Asia. And then we look at another 10% is coming from Europe. And then when you look at all the other economies of the countries that do business here, we're looking at almost 10%. So we have a lot to be thankful for in helping, reaching out for what we do in Oakland, reaches and touches around the whole entire world. And I think we all can give it applause because we would help by every food you buy, every business that you support here in Oakland. It's helping to keep Oakland alive and doing well in these times, and it will continue to do so. But one of the other things is that I've been appointed by the White House Commerce Secretary, and he serves in the cabinet of the administration, as well as the U.S. Trade Representative Ron Kirk. And we're talking Gary Lark as well. And now we have a new Commerce Secretary who is John Bryson. But one of the most important roles that I'm working right now is to be a trade advisor to be able to advise the administration on international trade for small businesses. And part of the impact is making sure that all of these international agreements that are put in place, they're going to be fair and equitable to the small business community, especially. And one of the things is that President Obama has the National Export Initiative. And it is so important that this initiative is helping our small businesses to sell more goods and services around the world. And it's to help create better paying jobs here in the States. So we see international trade as part of winning the global economy. It's not about looking at the Democrats or looking at the Republicans, because we're right now fighting for making sure that we have the best economy. And we're going to keep it and maintain it here in Oakland with all of your help. And the primary goal of the Obama administration is to give businesses the tools so we can win the global economy. So over the last year, we're looking at close to $1 billion have been spent in new exports of American goods to support 6,000 additional jobs that we have right here at home. Every $1 billion of service that's exported also presents 4,500 jobs here right in our area. When we look at it, the 3 trade agreements that were signed last fall, I was there in Congress, and we signed in the Colombia Trade Agreement, Panama, and South Korea. All those 3 agreements represented $30 billion of trade and businesses that opened the doors for us to be able to do more transactions overseas. And so this is something that some of you may be pondering the moment of thinking of other opportunities for yourself. This is something that is gladly received in the Obama administration. And part of it is that this is the first time in history that we've had a president pass not 1, 2, 3 free trade agreements in the history of the United States. And that's part of why he's looking out to help the small businesses, and that's why we need to help get him reelected.
I'm announcing Mr. Kevin Taylor. Kevin Taylor is a native of Oakland who's attended Oakland schools, K through 12. He received a full basketball scholarship at Cal State Northridge, where he was honored as an academic athlete of the year in his senior season. After graduating, he became social studies teacher for Los Angeles Unified School District at Chatsworth High School. While teaching, Kevin became mentor and coaching students through his active involvement with the Black Student Union and coaching boys varsity basketball and girls basketball and track and field. Kevin's awards include 100 Black Men Community Hero Award in 2011, Alameda County Supervisor Keith Carson Future History Makers Award 2012, and Oakland Unified School District Educational Leadership Award in 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Oakland's best educator, Kevin Taylor.
Always start off with giving thanks and honor to God, my mother and father, my big brother, and all the Mac family that's in the building right now. That's the thing about taking a position such as McClymonds High School. I've never been a part of an organization, a team, or a family outside of my natural family that is truly family. Everything you do, they support you. Whether you win, whether you lose, we're in the fight together. And when the previous speaker spoke of in the best is the West, the best is in the West, that's true. That is true. The best is in West Oakland, and that's McClymonds High School. When we ask you to come out to the School of Champions, we are what we say. We are the School of Champions. And every single individual at the school embodies that. Yes, we have our issues. Yes, we have many, many things that we face on a daily basis. But that's not like any other family. Every family has issues that they have to face. And we do at McClymonds, and we do it as a family. The reason many of us are just walking in is because we're going through our senior exhibitions right now. And when we call people out to come help with our senior exhibitions, no one turns it down. We have our school counselor, we have our alumni president, we have our PTA president, we have my coach. All these people just come out to support me. I didn't ask them to. I didn't even tell them I was being honored. They found out on their own, people, because I don't tell people about things like this. But I just want to thank, first and foremost, all of the McClymonds family, Evan Glenn, my little brother, Mark Guillory, who I haven't seen since elementary and high school. But it's like everyone says, when you do good things, you end up around good people, and it's a pleasure to be honored by such an honorable group. Thank you.
Our next Lifetime Achievement Award we're giving today is to Michael Banks. And to me, over the last few months, I've been knowing this brother, and he doesn't know. He gave me a bio, but when I first sat down with him, he pretty much gave me a bio like everybody else told me about. When I met him, and we first sat down and met, it was on Martin Luther King Day, and I gave him a call. He said, "Brother, come through today." I'm a young businessman. I was looking for tips. I said, "Today is Monday." He said, "This is a lifestyle, brother. This is a lifestyle what we're doing right now." But with him that day, I sat back for about an hour and a half to hear about all the great works that he has done throughout these years. Mr. Michael Banks have built the most affordable housing in the San Francisco Bay Area, more than anybody else. He deserves a round of applause for that. Talking to him throughout these years, I know he has gave so much to so many different foundations. The East Oakland Youth Development Center, Ralph Grant Baseball, the list goes on and on and on. But more importantly, he always wanted to make sure, even with his biggest project yet, which is Third Street in San Francisco, he wanted to push senior housing and affordable housing towards African Americans, which I think is so key for us. So right now, I would love us to recognize our winner and honoree for Lifetime Achievement Awards, Michael Banks.
I'd like to say that I met these gentlemen, like you said, he called me on Martin Luther King's birthday, and I was in the office and I said, partner, you got dogs, water, everything for you to be at work, to have your own business. And that's why I'm here today, partner, so come on by. And he came by, and he starts talking about what he wanted to do politically. He wanted to change the process. He wanted to do this. And I told him the story. I said, look, when I got out of college with a gentleman named W. Harris, and a group of guys named Donald White, Ralph Grant, John Burris, Dave Alexander, we were all just like these guys. I remember sitting down talking about Lionel Wilson. I was upset because white folks wouldn't let us do any business with Grandma Leah. I just said, well, let's go talk to him. Well, we got to change it. And we're going to change it with L.U. running for mayor. He said, you can't run against Lionel. Lionel is the legend. Lionel said, well, look, we can start or we can run. And L.U. ran. And from that day on, the whole process that I've been involved with in public finance and all the deals that we put together was strictly because of community. We never had the money to do a $140 million transaction. We never had the money when we did $43 million down Palm Villa. My PG&E bill was due that day. I had $15. But I was talking about $43 million they were about to sign. And I was so happy I could make my note that day on my PG&E. Because I just picked up $43 million from Bank of America. So I have so much pleasure in watching these guys because finally I got some guys like me that I can turn to and say, hey, partner, here's the ball. And you can run with it. And you can dream. And you can take Oakland. You got 5 votes. I told a story. You get 5 votes against you going down there to Jack London Square. You'll be surprised in the morning, won't you? Because you can't go there no more, black people. Because they got 5 votes from that council say you can't go. Police will stop you at 4th and Broadway. But if these brothers right here keep up doing the struggle they're doing, you can own Jack London Square. It's the largest piece of real estate that's going to be developed in the next 10 years. The Oakland Army base is another $2 billion. You had a local developer here, had some brother got a contract, they wouldn't give him the contract. Now, these same brothers are going to get that because they went out and protested, they fought, they caused chaos, and now we got 50% Oakland residency requirement for that contract. And you talking about $10 billion. They think it's going to be $1 billion. That's going to be $10 billion when we finish. And what I can say, my whole thing started in the medical manufacturing business. I had a medical company called Mark Less Medical Products that I took public by the time I was 34. After that, I started real estate. And I just shook a hand one day and said, I want to be a developer. Next thing I know, I was building, developing, everything I wanted because I was that guy. And I took it full advantage with my partners and I, who were all very shrewd businessmen, Mr. Michael Johnson, who went on later to build Yoshi's. And today, he's in Harlem, New York, talking about major deals. But we were all partners, the same dream that these guys had. And I can say this, I haven't stopped yet. I just signed a 5-year contract with Dr. Ernie Pace, representing him to sell proton beam cancer treatment centers across the nation. With Turner Construction as my partner, Garfield and Trop, who own 2/3 of the Philadelphia Eagles, my finance people, and I got it because of one reason, a brother, a black man. So I believe you can do this, Banks, and we did it. So young men tonight, I just want to say again, keep up the work, don't stop. If they don't let you, my sign in my office says, and it goes like this: all great spirits encounter violent opposition from mediocre minds. So keep stepping.
Before I close, I just want to re-recognize a young brother that really kind of got us together. And I know Evan mentioned in the beginning the Dress for Success program at EOYPC. And it's Michael White, who's, and Evan really worked on that. Young African-American professionals, doctors, lawyers together to talk to 50 African-American males and teach them how to dress for success, how to interview, how to manage appropriately and responsibly their social networking skills, and how to negotiate contracts. And I think that's it was one of the most galvanizing things and one of the most awesome things that happened in basically my young life. And that's how we came about and we started talking. The reasons why we're doing this is, and you probably feel the same way that I feel. When you wake up in the morning and some people read the paper still, but you go to oaklandtribune.com, sometimes you're afraid to do it. And, why are you afraid? Because most of the time you go to oaklandtribune.com, the first story on the website or on the top of the fold is another homicide happened here in Oakland. Another young person had his life ended. Another young woman had their life ended. I'm reading about this concept called normalization now. It's a concept that people get used to, the high murders that happen, and it becomes the norm. Meaning, you think that averaging 118 murders over the last 10 years is okay. And if we hit 116, at least we didn't hit our average, so we must be improving. Well, no! That's not what the best of Oakland represents. That's not what TPAC wants. That's not what Oakland wants. We want First Fridays in every community, not just uptown. We want it in downtown. We want it in East Oakland. We want it in West Oakland, around Mac. We want First Fridays right there. What does First Fridays represents? That represents people in their community walking around their community, not getting shot up. That's what that represents. You don't want to see a 25% increase in assault with firearm crimes from 2010 to 2011, thinking that you're doing something good. You know, we talk about companies like Clorox leaving Oakland, and the guy gets on the news and talks about keeping the Oakland A's, and so you're like, that's kind of ironic that you left Oakland to go to Pleasanton, but then you want to keep the A's here. But it's ironic. But why did Clorox leave? I don't know the specifics of it, but it goes to the bigger picture of, are we a business-friendly community? Because what that represents to me, I'm a simple guy. I'm just a lawyer. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, right? If you have better business-friendly policies, you're going to create more revenue. You got more revenue, you got more money for our community. You got more money for programs. You got more money to set up a program to assault this truancy epidemic that we have in our community. I know some of you, just like I did, read that story, that study that was done by I think it's the Urban Institute here in Oakland about the African American males in Oakland MFIS school district. About half of them are graduating. Truancy, death. I mean, you look at the Department of Justice statistics and you realize that homicide is a health concern for the African American community and the community of Oakland because it represents the highest rate of death for African American males. And we also know that 94% of African American deaths are by African American males. That's a problem. And here in Oakland, because we have such an urban environment, it is our problem. So if you are a leader or you're running for something, we have issues, like Kevin said. We all know that. I've known that for 40 years. We have issues. And the same issues that we had when I was born are the same issues that are going on right now. The statement is, what is the answer to those issues? What are we doing to solve the problem, to address the issues? Regarding safety, is the district attorney, the head of probation, the sheriff, the chief, some community-based organizations, any interested individual sitting down together at a round table, addressing and raising these questions, coming up with a 10-point plan for the city council to adopt an institute to keep our children safe so that we don't have another year where 3 babies die unexpectedly and unavoidably. Come on, it is time. It is time to stop BSing. Matter of fact, the time was yesterday. So what we're going to do, while we created this organization, is that we want Oakland, our goal is to make Oakland a better and safer place. And what we're going to do is we're going to build up a war chest, and like Bane said, we're going to support candidates and legislation whose goals are to promote a better business-friendly Oakland, to make our community safer. We don't want 100 murders at all. There's no reason why San Jose, that has 3 to 4 times our population, has half of our homicides. They have the same amount, if not more, gangs than we do. There's no reason. And the reason why we wanted to start out our organization by honoring people is because of the sentiment that Ms. Cox said and the sentiment that's been shared by everybody. You want to recognize those people who are doing those things that we want to do too. And so what we want to do is we want to talk to everybody. We want to work with everybody. We want to coalesce with everybody and collaborate to make this city, Oakland, a better and safer city, because we are the city of champions. But let's not just be champions in sport. Let's be champions in justice. Let's be champions in education. Let's be champions in business, so that when we raise all these kids that are going to go like those 2 little twin sisters from, I'm not sure what, I think Fremont High School that got full scholarships to Yale. Let's get a whole bunch of those people getting full scholarships to Yale and Harvard, so they can come back here and be professionals just like you. So they can come back here and be doctors and lawyers just like you, and attorneys and and accountants, and just do better things here. Each one teach one, right? All right. Good evening, y'all.